Okay, great. 11s, I want you to look at exercise 4.13. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take an exercise that you've already tried and you filled in a few numbers. You looked at that video and you looked at the steps that I referred to. So now I'm going to take that same task, and although it's not in your textbook, you can literally do it on a piece of paper like I'm doing it. And I'm going to follow the steps that I gave you by taking them and showing you how it would look into the asset disposal account. So what I'm going to do first of all is I just want to just lift this a bit higher because I see you can't really see the whole of my book. Alright, so let's look at that exercise. I'm going to put in a date there. I'm going to tell you that this year starts on the 1st of March 2020. So the first thing when you do anything to do with assets being bought or sold or whatever is that you need to draw your year. This year starts on the 1st of March 2020. So it will end on the 28th of February 2021. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to start with. Now you take your exercise, you fill in your opening balances. I've already done that, as you can see. And now we're going to follow the 4 steps that I gave you. Now let's look at the first thing. They say Max sold one of his vehicles for 12,000 Rand. So that is the actual transaction. Let's make it, he sold it for cash. So put in there, he sold one of his vehicles for cash, 12,000 Rand. Let's make that our entry. Then if we read at the beginning of the year, I'm going to take it as if it's at the beginning of the year. So my sentence is reading, Max sold one of the vehicles, cash, for 2,000 Rand at the beginning of the year. Right, so that sounds like a transaction. It could have stopped there. But now you know, when you sell, you want to know the book value. So they need to figure out, you need to know that specific vehicle, what was its cost price and what was the accumulated depreciation. So now it tells you the original cost was 30,000 and it's been depreciated up to now. So being depreciated means the accumulated depreciation for that vehicle was 21,000. So in your head already you can think, if it cost 30 and now we've already depreciated it for 21, so actually it's worth only 9,000 Rand. So if it's worth 9,000 and we're selling it for 12,000, immediately you can see you're making a 3,000 Rand profit. So in your brain you can work it out, but how are you going to record it? So let's do the recording of that sale. We have to take what's step 1. Take the cost price of the vehicle and put it in asset disposal. So now I'm going to take it out. I'm selling it on the first day of the year. I'm taking it out and I'm putting it in asset disposal account. What do I take out? I'm taking out the cost price of the vehicle. Remember, you've learned before that this will always be at cost. Assets, historical cost concept are recorded at cost. So there's your step 1, and you're going to take step 1, take the cost price to your asset disposal on the 1st of March 2020, and you're going to write vehicles on this side because you're doing double entry system. GJ, and the amount of the cost price was 12,000 Rand. Right, so that's step 1, done and dusted. Take it out there, put it in here. So what's left there in vehicles? There's only 220 minus 12,000 would be your balance, and you will take the balance down. Okay, right, now let's look at step 2. Step 2 says, take the accumulated depreciation of that vehicle and put it in asset disposal. So now I'm going to go to the opposite side. I'm writing asset disposal, GJ, which day? The 1st of March 2020, the beginning of the year. What was the total depreciation up to now? It was 21,000. I'm taking it out of accumulated depreciation and I'm moving it to asset disposal. And here I write accumulated depreciation on vehicles, GJ, on the 1st of March, and there is your step 2. Can you see? And you've put it on this side. Now remember I told you that according to me, this account is a work account, which means that we are going to use this playroom, as I call it. We're going to use this to see, did we make a profit or did you make a loss? So whether it's an N account or a B account or a final account, it doesn't really matter. This account will always, after a transaction, will be closed off. So you will nowhere show that except when you do the double entry. So in your general journal, you'll see the word asset disposal, but you will never find it in an income statement or a balance sheet. In the income statement, you will find, was there a profit or was there a loss? So now we take this and we now put number 3 is the transaction. So now I'm putting the transaction here, and I told you there are 5 different kind of transactions. The one is cash, then you say bank. If it's credit, you say debtors control. If it's credit sale, if it's a trade-in, you say the creditors control. If it's to the owner, you'll say drawings. If it's a donation made, you'll write donation. But that's the transaction. So the transaction will be here. So can you see I'm not working here at all anymore? I'm just working here in my work account. And what was this sale for? We sold this vehicle for 12,000 Rand. Now remember I told you that we actually are making a 9,000,